Hello, this is my final self-portrait for sociology class. My name is Adriannah, but you can just call me Grace. There's a picture of me and a picture of my little puppy Milo. In this project, I will use the sociological imagination to relate to my personal life. The sociological imagination is a framework for understanding social reality that places personal experiences within a broader social and historical context, or an ability to connect personal challenges to larger social issues. The book defines it as an awareness of the relationship between a person's behavior and experience and the wider culture that shaped the person's choices and perceptions. It's a way of seeing our own and other people's behavior in relationship to history and social structure, as said by C. Wright Mills. Why I chose to go to Lindsey Wilson College, mainly for money and proximity reasons. I get a full ride to Lindsey Wilson and some extra money each semester if I am able to keep my grades up. Lindsey Wilson is only about a 20-minute drive from my house in Russell County, and as a commuter, I wanted to only have to drive a short distance each day. In total, I received 2 scholarships that made me choose Lindsey Wilson. The AP White Scholarship, which is just for my GPA, and the Ward of the State. Since my grandmother, who is my sole guardian, passed away before I was 18, I was able to receive enough money to be able to go to Lindsey Wilson full ride. Why I chose to be a psychology major. After I chose to go to Lindsey Wilson College, I also chose to become a psychology major because I love learning about how others think and behave. If I were to pursue my master's degree for psychology after I get my bachelor's, I think that I would love to work in marketing psychology or any form of user-generated content. I really like ads and placing ads and learning about what people want. For culture, my culture and upbringing was a little bit more unconventional compared to my classmates. I grew up in Russell Springs, Kentucky. However, I was homeschooled up until the 3rd grade. My grandmother was a very religious woman, so in addition to the normal classes I would take, like reading, writing, and math, I would also spend a lot of time reading scripture, learning to sew, and other things that were a bit more traditional. My family really values quality time together, and we spend all of our holidays together. We never really celebrated 4th of July, so when I started dating my boyfriend, I did kind of have this sort of like culture shock because his family goes all out and spends like hundreds of dollars every year on the fireworks and the food, and they kind of make it like a big show. It's really fun. For agents of socialization, I'll talk about my family because I have a very small family and my immediate family is very close-knit. I was adopted when I was about 6 weeks old by my 2 half-brothers' grandmother, and she took me in as her own. My grandmother's way of raising us was very authoritarian, and whatever she said was what was going to be done. However, she was very loving and a great parent. Being with her was probably the most influential agent of socialization to me. In 2020, when she passed away of lung cancer, I went to live with my aunt and uncle, who I've always called my mom and my dad, for some reason. The next agent of socialization I'm going to talk about is mass media. I'm someone who loves social media, and I think content creation is really nice. Growing up, media such as music, movies, and TV shows have definitely shaped me to be the person I am today. I love being creative, and I really like to listen to music that's creative, and it makes me feel good, and I love watching movies. My favorite movie right now is Hereditary, and my favorite show right now is Breaking Bad. I didn't put it, I don't know why. And I also really like Gilmore Girls and Girl Interrupted. My favorite artists right now are The Weeknd, Mac DeMarco, Joji, Childish Gambino, and Lana Del Rey. I also really like K-pop, and I put Luna, it's a K-pop girl group, on there. For statuses, I would say that I occupy many statuses, mainly that of a daughter, fiance, dog mom, and employee. A lot of my identity deals with doing things for my parents, like cleaning, cooking, and baking for them. I'm home alone often because they both work a lot, and I like to do as much as I can for them because they do so much for me. My mom works at the VA in Lexington, and when she's not there, she owns a gym in Russell County, and she runs that. And my dad is a cattle farmer. Being a fiance is a new status that I have, but I enjoy planning my wedding that's going to be in June, and marrying my boyfriend of over 7 years is very exciting to me. My dog is one of the most important things in my life, and I love being able to give him so many things, so many treats and stuff and toys, even if he does destroy it in about 20 minutes. Right now, I work at my mom's gym, and I'm very lucky to have a job as nice as I do. In my spare time, I really like to bake, and I've been able to sell a lot of my stuff before. And this is a video of my dog. Next is institutions in my life. Some of the main institutions that play a role in my life would be family, education, and economy. My family tends to have pretty high expectations of me, especially in terms of my schooling. When I was growing up, I was always expected to receive higher grades in all of my classes, and if I struggled in a particular subject, I would have to go to tutoring. Because of this, I have been in tutoring for math pretty much my whole life. I don't understand math at all, and I pretty much hate it. My education is an institution that plays a very important role in my life as well. I have to keep a certain GPA to maintain all of my scholarships, and I am responsible for all of my educational coursework material, such as books. I've also had to learn how to wake up early every single day and commute to my classes and not be late. The economy is a very powerful institution in my life as well. I do worry every day about my personal finances, like gas, food, dog food, my phone bill, my car bill. As I have entered into this new phase of my life, where I will soon have to move out and start paying my own rent with my husband and all of my living expenses, the economy does play a large role in that, and I do worry about that a lot. For deviance, I wasn't able to think of as many personal examples, but I do believe that deviance can be seen as a spectrum. I don't like to smoke or drink just because it doesn't really interest me. I don't really care if anyone else does. I'm a pretty shy person, and I mainly just like to spend a lot of my time alone reading or watching movies. This behavior can be seen as deviant to some, since many of these situations that take place on campus and even with my family are more extroverted in nature, and I'm a lot more introverted. I don't really think that deviance is a 100% negative thing and can help broaden one's mind view, especially when using the sociological imagination. Next is social mobility in class. Relating class to my personal experience, I grew up lower class, and my grandmother was a cleaning lady for people in wealthier neighborhoods and a secretary for a church. Because of this, I learned a lot about money management and living well below your means. While she didn't have a lot of money all the time, she was always able to provide for my brothers and I, and she gave us everything we needed. When my grandmother passed away, my social class did change, and I would say I'm probably middle class now. I really do appreciate everything I experienced when I was younger, and I really appreciate all the new opportunities I was given now. For education, I would say that I really value my education, and I really appreciate and value being given the opportunity to go to college full-time, especially on a full ride. I'm not a first-generation student. My mom is a nurse, and my older sister is an education major here at Lindsay Wilson. She's a senior. As far as my status as a student, I am a psychology major, and I really do love my major. I think it's very interesting. However, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so if I don't think I will do good at something, I will avoid doing it as long as I can, and I'll procrastinate on it, which I'm sure Dr. Carter is sick of. Next is gender and sexuality. I myself am a cisgender female. I've had no doubts about my gender identity growing up, and as an adult, I do enjoy more traditionally feminine things. Like I said, I like to bake, but I also enjoy cleaning, actually. It's one of my favorite things to do when no one's home and I kind of want to procrastinate. I like to clean, and I would like to be a homemaker and stay-at-home mom if I'm able to. I'm also a feminist, and I appreciate being given the opportunity to pursue my education and be financially independent for myself. My sexuality is heterosexual, and I've been dating my fiancé since 2015. However, I am an ally to the LGBT community, and I think that everyone deserves the same opportunities that I have been given. As for race and ethnicity, my race is white and I am American. I recognize that my race is a privilege, and I have never had to experience any sort of oppression due just to the color of my skin. As I talked about in my sociological self-portrait assignment number 7, I didn't really know that other people were treated so unkindly just for the color of their skin until about the 3rd grade when I went to public school for the first time, so I guess this would be my first recognition of racial and ethnic differences in society. In conclusion, I'm a very introverted person, and this influences a lot of my behaviors. My introvertedness has also been one of the main causes in my use of the sociological imagination. My personal life and my upbringing have definitely influenced my choices and my behaviors that I display today. I grew up in a traditional and very loving family with an emphasis on culture and good grades in my classes throughout school. Because of this, I strive to be a perfectionist in all aspects of my life, especially my studies. I also occupy many statuses such as daughter, fiancé, student, and employee. Because of this, I have been able to take on multiple roles in pairing with these statuses. Also, my gender, race, and sexuality have all played influential roles in shaping me into who I have become. And I think that's it for my sociological final project. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed listening to this as much as I did making it. I learned a lot about myself while doing this project, and it was really insightful to reflect on myself and my upbringing.